throughout the whole world. There's a testimony to all nations. And then Jesus said, and then the end will come. And Jesus said that I will come, I will return when the gospel has been preached to all people, all nations. Of course, all nation is, as we understand, it's an all people group, right? People tribe. So, and that's the reason. I make it very brief, so we'll continue on. Okay. Number one population in the world is China, 1.3 billion, and India is 1.3. United States, 326 million. Then next on the list is Indonesia, 263 million. That's how big the nation is, and also as I told last time before I left, Indonesia is composed of 17,500 islands. So many islands. So it was really hard to unify Indonesia into one nation, but and Indonesia is the largest Muslim, has the largest Muslim population. It's 263 million, and 85% of 263 million are Muslim. And the ministry that I want to get involved is to reach out to UPGs. And UPG stands for Unreached People Groups. And how do we categorize UPGs? UPGs is when a people group has less than 2% evangelized. If one people tribe is less than 2% evangelized, and we categorize that people tribe, people group as UPGs. And in Indonesia, unreached population is 167 million, which is 63.6% of the whole population. It must be my skill, right? Huh? Okay. Okay, and where I'm staying, where I'm living, residing is Manado, which is the capital city of northern Sulawesi, northern east tip of Indonesia, and it has population of 701,000. Oh, I have an extra 9 there. It shouldn't be there. I cannot blame my son for doing that, but yeah, I did that. So that was last update, 2017. So 701,000. Okay, forget the 9 there. And in 2010, 67% of the population of Manado were Christians, and 30% Muslim. Then in 2018, we can see that only 45% are Christians. So you can see the decline of Christian population in Manado, and Muslim about same. It's growing. So what Muslim leaders are doing, they're sending missionary from Java or Jakarta to Manado as a strategic movement to evangelize Christian into Muslim. You see? So that's happening, and which was predominantly Christian population in Manado, but now it's changing, and you can see the change. I'm not pointing at you. Okay, and one of the people tribe I'm targeting, and it's been in my heart, and I've been praying for them, is Gorontalo. It's about 8 hours drive from Manado, which is not really far distance-wise. It's only about 100 miles away. But because of the road condition, it takes about 8 hours. I paid a visit, and I was planning to visit during the Christmas and New Year holiday. But my friend missionary, their house was flooded, so we had to clean the house all together, and also provide them meals. So we couldn't go, but I went there once, and 98% of 1.12 million are Muslim there. So. Okay, and this is one of the three things that I'm looking at. Train and equip and mobilize Christian leaders to send them out to UPG's areas and help them plant churches among UPGs. And that's one of the reasons is to mobilize Christian leaders in Manado and surrounding cities, and train them and train them as a leader so that they can be sent out to these places, UPG's areas. There are 222 unreached people groups within Indonesia. There are about 779 people groups, but 224 are UPGs. So, and you can see some of the slides more closely. I better get closer. Is it me or the? Oh, maybe, yeah, that's better. Can you do that? Should I call you Mr. Hong now, or? Okay, there you go. First 10 months in Manado, I had a luxury of living at a mayor of Manado, his residence. They had an American kitchen and everything. I mean, it was wonderful. But last September, I moved out of mayor's residence to a local residential area, and there, the reason I did that is to be closer to people of Manado and also learn the language. After I moved to new, we call it in Indonesia tetangga, which is a new neighborhood, and I found a local church nearby, and this is the local church, and the church name is Bukit Moria, and I attend this church every Sunday, and also they have a column service. It's like a small group, and I attend column service with the church, and I also had an opportunity to speak to young people, youth group. In Indonesia, youth group is from ages of 18 to 30. It's not like here. So when I say youth, it's older. So it's something like EM here, right? And older, of course, right? So these are members of youth in Bukit Moria, and right before I came, I had an opportunity to speak to them, to young people, and I have a heart for young people like you, and I want to train them. And I had an opportunity also to open a quiet time workshop, and that's what I want to do. They don't get any training from church. The churches in Indonesia don't get any training. They love worshiping God. They spend hours and hours to worship God. Some worship goes maybe for 4 hours. So I don't know how long EM service is, but I don't know if you can, bear 4-hour service in Indonesia. But I had a hard time myself, to be honest. Although I'm a pastor, when is this going to end? Huh? So 3 hours, 4 hours. But anyway, they love worshiping, and that's all they do though. They don't have any training. One of the students approached me. I like to teach young people, and I don't have any tools. Can you help me? So I started discipleship training at my house. It's just few people. And that's what they need. So I'm trying to attend many churches, and that's what I've been doing. I shouldn't be doing any ministry, and I was, before I was sent off, Elder Peck told me you should concentrate on the language for the first 2 years, no ministry. But I cheated a little bit. So I've been visiting some churches and trying to meet a lot of people. I met a lot of people and tried to be friends with them and try to bring them over to my house and get to know each other and fellowship. And but anyway, sorry, I'm kind of dragging on. Okay, next one. Next slide. And this is our campus church at the campus where I learned Bahasa Indonesia, which is our Indonesian language. And they invited me to speak a few times, and this is campus ministry leaders. So I'm meeting all these young people to just get to know, and also bring them over to trying to mobilize and train them so that they can be ready to be sent off to UPG's area. So can you move on to the next one? Q. And this is also, I visited a seminary in Manado to give an English class. So this is something I can do on and off. So next one. And this is my discipleship class, my house. You can see the banana. There is abundance of bananas there. If you like bananas, you can come to Manado. If you like durian, someone say you can even play soccer because there's a lot of durians around, but it's expensive though. But anyway, so these are some of the students that I teach. Okay, can you move on? And this is the quiet time workshop that I had, and some of the handpicked people that I invited to have a quiet time workshop, and they were so excited. And I found out that the lady sitting there, she's a professor at Unsura, the university in Manado, and she's also an elder of Bukit Moria, the church that I attend. And she just broke the news. It was about a few days before I left Manado, and she told me that she asked me if I can help her. They want to start an English service in their church, and if I can help establish English church there, English ministry and service for young people. And they have a heart to do something, but they don't have someone to lead. I think that was the problem they have, and also one of the girls sitting on the right side is also a doctor, and she's the youth leader, actually youth elder. So she's and the girl there, and she's also elected as a youth leader for the district. There are 6 churches joined together to do youth ministry together, and she's the leader, and she was appointed as a leader. So she wants to get involved with together to do ministry together for God's kingdom. Okay, next one. And these are the local pastors. You can see some of them look different than normal Indonesian. They are Papuan pastors. So there are Papuan pastors, Papuan churches, not too many, a few Papuan churches. They are like an outcast in Indonesia. They are part of Indonesia. Papua is located far east and used to be one giant island, big island, but it was split into half, and left side is Papua, then right side is Papua New Guinea, and we used to call it Irian Jaya, right? Papua. But anyway, they are part of Indonesia. Left side is part of Indonesia, and They have Papuan church and also Indonesian local pastors, and we gather together to celebrate Christmas. And I think the Indonesian pastors play an important role. And a lot of churches, especially the church that I attend, they have no heart for mission. It's like the church has been around for a long time, for 300 plus years actually. Because when Dutch came into that part of the area, they found a church there, but then it's like the tradition took over rather than the gospel. So that's why the form of the service is important to them. But anyway, that's why I have a heart, and I've been called to wake them up from what they've been doing, wake young people so that they can commit their life for the mission to Indonesians, fellow. Okay, next slide. And this is the people in the middle are workers at Gorontalo, campus workers, and there are about 9 universities within Gorontalo and only 1 campus worker. So 98, remember 1.12 million population, but only and 98% are Muslim, so there are not many Christians there. And when I visited Gorontalo with a local mission organization called STAN, we got to meet a local campus leader, and we want to continue our support with their ministry, and we want to engage in the ministry with this. This is UPG area, so continue our ministry with them. Next one. And this is the family I met at Gorontalo visit, and there are people like that. Many people, what they need is Jesus. What they need is Jesus, and that's the whole city of Gorontalo, as you can see the background. Okay, next picture. And the second purpose that of my ministry is networking with other local mission organizations to reach out to UPGs within Indonesia. I found out there are many, also some good mission organizations there already doing, some groundwork to reach out to UPG. So can you show next picture, please? Okay, this is one of the group, and their name is Sola Gracia Communities, and they practice evangelism every week within Manado also, because Muslim population is growing. And during the Christmas time, they went all the way, driving like about 40 hours to get to a certain city in central Sulawesi to share the gospel. And I'm joining them in March for the training, training their members and the leaders. And before I came, I had a meeting with them. And okay, can you come to the next slide? When I first arrived, I had a chance to share my vision, and I didn't want to get involved with them because it was just too soon. That was 2016 November. So, but anyway, after a year, I decided to join that group because I felt that this group was doing something right and making the life very practical as a Christian to reach out and doing evangelism work in their workplace and also in their city. So this is something I felt that we also need to do in California, because if you walk out of your door, there's so many non-believers, right? They're coming to your doors. Only we open our heart and life to them, we can easily share. But anyway, can you turn to the next one? And this is the training. It's being done by a Muslim worker, and all these people are doing mission work to Muslims. So countrymen. So they are being trained, and the person they're leading used to be a imam. So it's like a Muslim pastor. But he converted to Christianity when he was in prison in Bali. And now he's working to evangelize fellow Muslims. Okay, so next one. And I want to get involved with them also. And third purpose is connect Indonesian churches and mission organizations to form partnership to work together to complete world evangelism. Although there are a lot of churches in Manado and some mission organizations, they have no connection between. You see, as a foreigner, they like Koreans. Indonesians like Koreans. They like K-pop, Korean dramas. They ask me about all these questions. And they like Americans too. And I'm Korean American. And I'm also Korean Canadian, by the way. So they like me very much. So they are very receptive. And they want to hear. So I'm trying to connect this mission organization with local churches. And they listen. And I feel that local churches need to wake up. They don't talk about mission at all. And I think that's the reality in many churches all over the world. I don't know why I went there, foreigner to Indonesia. I never heard of Manado before, but God called me into Manado to reach out to UPGs in Indonesia. But I'll get to another point after that. Can you show the next picture? So, sorry, Pastor William. This is a Papuan church nearby our house, so we paid a visit, and you can see because I'm not going to get into that. But anyway, go on, next one. You can see my wife over there, and this is a local SPAM workers. I don't know if you heard SPAM organization is from U.S. sending professionals as mission. And there's a SPAM local mission organization there, and this is the group I joined to go to Gorontalo. And next picture. And this is the boarding house for some of the girls and boys from Wana tribe. And Wana tribe is in Central Sulawesi, located in Central Sulawesi. And to get to their tribal people, you have to fly to Central Sulawesi. Then you have to take a boat for 4 hours. Then you have to walk up the mountain for 8 hours. How would you like to go on a mission trip like that? You're welcome, okay? You can join me there. But anyway, these girls and boys, they were chosen, and this organization, hosting them, the person who's hosting them, the organization hosting them, brought them out from their tribal land, and they're educating them at young age, like 12 years old, from all the way to college. In their town, when they are 12 or 13, these little girls marry off at their when they're 13 and 12. Can you imagine that? You should be all married woman by now, if you were Wana tribe. But anyway. And they would live rest of their life like that. But here they've been chosen to be educated, and they receive education and also some sponsorship, and they go through education system and also college, and they go back. They will be sent back to their hometown in Wana, and they become a teacher. So they can become influential people in their hometown. So we visited them during the Christmas time, and we presented a gift, and they were so excited. When I saw them, story about, in their hometown, they would be sent off to marriage at such a young age, and my heart just broke. But the second time I went and saw them, their face were a lot brighter. When I saw since the first time I saw them. Okay, can you turn to the next one? And this is remember the Gorontalo people I'm trying to engage to, and these are the home to many Gorontalo people in a city called Kauditan, which is about 1 hour away from Manado. And when I go back, this is where I'll be joining local worker to educate kindergarten Gorontalo students, little kids. It's not easy to work with parents yet. Best way is through young kids. So while the parents work at the market in Manado, because it's a big city compared to Kauditan, and they leave their kids at home, this kind of home. And one couple that I met in Manado is the couple who does this kind of housing project in Manado. He's doing a project building 146 houses, government subsidized houses for low income people, and this is what he's doing. And also for this, most of the people living in there are Gorontalo people, Gorontalonese. So it's a perfect way to engage into ministry, and when I go back, I'll be joining that ministry to work with little kids. So can you turn to the next one? And these are the couple. And the lady there is a professor of architecture at University of Manado, which is Unsurat, we call it. And her husband will be teaching law. He's in one of the college there. Okay. And I'll be doing ministry with them. And this is the leader for Bukit Moria, and which I like to get involved and train and make them into leaders so that they can be sent out and mobilize them to become a missionary, like a SPAN, Sending Professional as Mission. Next slide. Okay, this is the mission team from Ohio. They came last summer. And I joined them in Gorontalo, and it's a small church, about 20 to 30 people, church members. That's not smaller than Inland EM, right? And about half of the church members came to mission trip. Gorontalo, I don't know how, but actually the lady on the far right is Gorontalonese, but she married to American, and now she wants to commit her life to Gorontalo people. She wants to come back to become a missionary to Gorontalo people. And I mean, Gorontalo is just one of the people tribe. Okay, next one. Is that it? Is that the end? Okay. Oh, no, it wasn't. I'm still trying to recover from the flu, but I complain, Manado is so hot. Now, as soon as I arrive, here it's too cold. I want to go back. So I'm trying to mobilize the young people in Manado, and also these American groups are coming. The last question I want to throw to you, what about Inland EM? I would like to receive you as a short-term mission team. Maybe in 2009, starting from 2019, I know you guys are going to Thailand and also China, so maybe 2019, I'll be ready to receive short-term mission team. So maybe we can visit like people group in Wana tribe. It's going to be long trip, and we can also visit UPG, Gorontalo, about 8 hours drive. Can you turn to the next one? Jesus said, go and make disciples of all nations. Then end will come. Then I'll return. 29% of the world population still haven't heard the gospel. 3 weeks ago, I received a call from here, California. It was my son. It was really wrong time for him to call. He doesn't call me. He just messaged me through KakaoTalk. We communicate through KakaoTalk. But he called me. And I was kind of, what is going on here? And then he told me he got into an accident. Some of you probably know. And it was a big accident. He hit 2 big trees, then hit one pole. And policeman on the scene, he said, it's a miracle to stay alive from this kind of accident. What happened? But when I heard that, as a father, as a parent, being in Manado, I don't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. I had to stay cool and calm. But as father, it wasn't easy because we were so far apart, distance-wise. I wanted to be there for him and just cheer for him and just be there. I'm with you. I'm behind you. But anyway, there's no bruises, nothing, no scratches. And that really hit me, and there's 2-3 lessons that I learned. One is, I'm a missionary, and he's a missionary kid, and one thing I learned is God is going to take care of him, no matter what. God spoke to me, Matthew, don't worry. I'll take care of your son. He's my son as well. But the biggest lesson, any parents feels the same thing about their children. I don't know, some of you are parents. Your parents feels the same about you. I hope you know that. I don't often say to my son, I love you. He always says, I love you, Dad. But I'm kind of like a first generation Korean, maybe in that aspect. But anyway, the biggest lesson is God loves you the same way. Amen? God loves you, every individual. You're God's. And He's cheering for you. Everywhere you go, He's there for you. But I want you to remember one more thing. The people in Manado or Gorontalo or Indonesia, God feels the same about them. God feels the same about them. It's not just, I'm not trying to just, you have to go to Indonesia. I'm not saying that. 29% of the world population still haven't heard the gospel. And God is still waiting. 2 billion people are still waiting for the good news of Jesus Christ. And this is not my question. This is not my question. I think this is God's question to all of us. What are you going to do to change that? What are you going to do to change that? Can you see if there's a next slide? So I make sure so I end. So what are you going? I guess that's the end. But anyway, sorry, I'm still trying to wake up from the jet lag. But anyway, that's God's question to all of us. What are you going to do? God feels the same, not only to you guys, but also the people in Indonesia, Gorontalo, Tuwana people. They're waiting for us to come to share the gospel of Jesus Christ and love of Jesus Christ. That's it. Thank you.